Scientists do a lot of crazy experiments behind closed curtains, but some of their subjects make it into the wild. Yes, we are talking about the hybrids that were designed in labs and lived to see the next day. From ligers to killer bees and human-chimp hybrids, these creatures seem out of this world. Today, we are going to go through some of the scariest-looking hybrids that you won't believe exist. Fair warning, they will leave your mouth wide open in shock. So hang on tight as we go through some of the most terrifying animals that were genetically engineered by scientists. Let's get going. Number 1. Liger. If you were scared of lions and tigers, you wouldn't want to be anywhere near a liger. This monstrous beast is a hybrid of a lion and a tiger, and the result is not an animal you would willingly want to pet. Weighing over 2,000 pounds and standing at a height of 5 feet, most ligers are taller than a horse. Imagine a beast looking like the mix of the two deadliest predators breathing down on you. You will definitely run in the opposite direction. A liger is bred from a female tiger and a male lion. The baby ends up towering over both of them, probably giving a scare to the parents too. Remember to not confuse it with a tigon. A tigon is different. It is bred from a male tiger and a female lion, and is not as humongous as this beast right here. But even with a liger's scary size and threatening genetics, they are not as aggressive as their parents. They prefer to play around water and are extroverts around others of their kind. But that still wouldn't put you in the same cage as them, would it? Because that face does not look like a friendly face. These supercats are not in a very huge number. They may carry the best genes from both of the parents, but they do not live very long. There are about 100 of these massive cats expected to be out in the wild. Others are within human control. The big question is it really okay to breed these animals? Number 2. Killer bees. Not all hybrids go out to become successful experiments. Some of them go wrong and end up escaping captivity. This hybrid is one of those terrifying examples. Known as the killer bees, they are a hybrid of the European bees and the African bees. A Brazilian scientist wanted to genetically engineer a bee that could produce more honey than a normal honeybee. So he tried mixing the two species. The European bees are more prone towards generating a higher honey yield, while the African bees are better adapted to warmer temperatures. But boy, did the experiment turn out to be terribly wrong. Now, the new bees did manage to produce a little over 200 pounds of honey each year, which is 20 times more than the average bee. But something had gone wrong. Instead of adopting the better genes of the two species, the new offspring got the worst trait from one of its parents: aggression. To make matters worse, around 20 colonies of killer bees had escaped from the facility in Brazil and traveled to warmer climates. And here is where it gets frightening. Around 1,000 stings by these bees can kill you, and there have been reports about how a swarm can easily incur 100 stings at one time, and the swarm goes up to 300,000 to 800,000 in number. So, escaping the swarm of killer bees is a difficult task. Experts believe that they are vengeful hunters. Once they see that their colony is damaged, they will not stop until they have taken revenge. Most humans go underwater to escape the terror of these bees, but the killer bees stay put, waiting until their victim is out on the surface to gift them a raging attack. Now that's brutal. No matter how the bees are viewed by the public, the Brazilian scientist definitely created a legacy to his name. Number 3. Human Z. There have been many attempts made by scientists to develop a human-chimpanzee hybrid. The one striking example of that hybrid came forward in the face of Oliver. The project of designing a human-chimpanzee hybrid was termed as Human Z. You will be shocked to know many scientists were interested in combining the two species and bringing a humanoid monkey before the public. That's how Oliver became popular. This monkey was so unique in its physical appearance that the world had no doubt that it indeed was a hybrid. The way it walked on its 2 feet was not a big feat, since many apes are trained to do this. But the fact that it walked with its back straight and upward and its knees locked just like a human was frightening and shocking. Plus, it had ears higher on its head, along with its face being much smaller than other of its relatives. It was much smaller for a chimpanzee, and its strikingly different physical attributes only raised more questions. But here is a much more fascinating tidbit. Oliver had a great liking for human females. He did not prefer female chimpanzees and had developed a great attraction for one of his female trainers, Janet Berger. It was quite unlikely. Scientists believed that he had a different scent than chimps, and it was never able to bond with other of its chimpanzee friends. Instead, it was much more fond of humans. All of it makes you think that Oliver was indeed a human-chimpanzee hybrid. There were theories that Oliver had 47 chromosomes, midway from that of humans, which is 46, and from that of chimpanzees, which is 48. Scientists were able to contradict this theory, claiming that it wasn't true. Do you think they are hiding something? Even if scientists claim Oliver was not a human-ape hybrid, his human behavior and appearance do raise an awful lot of questions. Number 4, human-mouse hybrid. A mouse alone can be quite creepy, but this one has a live human ear on its back. Stumps pretty much every other scary story, doesn't it? But wait. There is more to this animal than you might think. This mouse came to be known as the vacante mouse. Scientists came up with the idea to recreate human organs and wanted to see which one would be the hardest to make. Plastic surgeons requested a human ear, and the scientific community listened. Years down the line, they designed a human ear and implanted it into the mouse. This ear is connected to blood vessels and is working exactly how a human ear would on a man's head. It might be eager to eavesdrop on its predators now. But don't worry. The human ear was removed from the mouse safely, and it lived a long and happy life. Frankly, the mouse didn't seem much bothered about the ear either. Imagine if scientists could put a human ear on a mouse, what else would they do to make a human-mouse hybrid? Number 5, super snakes. Pythons are already fierce predators out in the wild, but imagine a super snake that had the best traits of 2 deadly snakes. The result is this super snake that is a mix of a Burmese python and an Indian rock python. These snakes are 10 times deadlier than their parents. It has adapted much better to Florida than any other snake in the same environment. And if that isn't scary, it is bound to produce more of its kind much more rapidly than any other species in Florida. So the deadly predators are only going to be found more in number, lurking around the forest. A group of scientists targeted this 1.5-acre land where the snakes were abundant. They took 400 snakes to the lab and found that 13 of them had the genetic makeup of the Indian rock python. If that is the case, you can only guess the astounding number of these super snakes that are slithering quietly and creepily in the area. The snake was found to have gathered the best of traits from both of its parents. The result was a much more aggressive beast that was better suited to adapt to a new environment. The scarier thing is that nobody knows how they breed with each other. There are theories that it was genetically engineered and left in the wild to live. But others say that these hybrids were created because of a mere accident. It may be a mystery how these snakes found themselves in this chunk of land in Florida, but there is no question about its deadly nature. Number 6, the growler bears. This weird-looking bear is not your average bear. It is actually a terrifying hybrid of 2 different types of bears. This strange creature is known as the growler bear, a hybrid of a polar bear and a grizzly bear. They were discovered when a hunter had shot a bear and found his game to be looking rather creepy. The news about this bizarre discovery had already traveled far and wide. The bear did have white fur, but it had brown patches around its eyes. It had a smaller face, but a humped back. Its claws were also quite long for a polar bear. The reason why this was scary was because the number of polar bears was shrinking, and out came a hybrid that was very unusual. There are known to be only 8 growler bears out in the wild, but the actual number is not known. Perhaps these are going to be the new dominant bear species once the world gets warmer. But the question is, did these bears come to be naturally, or did scientists create these and set them off in the wild? Number 7, Koywolf. A strange discovery in the woods has startled the scientists deeply. A new species was found that was a mix between a wolf, a coyote, and a dog. Scientists believe that a large amount of coyote DNA is present, while the other 2 genetic materials present in less amount, but they are the best of all the animals. The Koywolf has an intelligent brain like that of a coyote, while its physical strength is much more similar to a wolf. They have more muscles and are much faster, allowing them to go through long distances at a fast speed. But here is where it gets interesting. You do remember that there is one more genetic material in this animal, right? Well, the dog's DNA has allowed the animal to be much more suited to city life. There have been many sightings of this animal in the city, and it is quite dangerous since it is not as shy as most predators. People do believe that it is a natural hybrid, but with a genetic makeup that is as diverse as this does raise big questions. For an animal to have 3 different types of genetic material does speak of a scientist meddling with the genes. Whether or not this was a natural experiment, the results have been outstanding. The hybrid is so successful that its number is now in millions. They truly are a remarkable example of a true hybrid. Number 8, a see-through frog. While frogs come in many vibrant shades, scientists have been able to make one that is very unique by messing with their genes. Scientists at Hiroshima University were able to create one-of-a-kind frog with transparent skin that gives an incredible peek at all the working organs inside. You can spot the heart beating and everything. While it feels scary, it is quite magical. It allows the humans to look much closer into what's going on inside the frog's body. Experts believe that it could help them see how different organs work and how genes behave under different conditions. It could also help them study how diseases progress. It would be tough to see a frog die, though. Imagine a cancer developing, and there's little you can do about it. It does have its pros and cons. The scientists didn't have to do much, though. They found the frogs with the palest of skins and put them together for breeding. Then, they brought the pale offspring and helped them mate with each other. The process was long, but the result was a frog that had transparent skin. The scientists were only able to produce 1 transparent frog out of 16. While these frogs are very see-through, scientists are still working on perfecting the process. Number 9. Blood parrot. Now, the name blood parrot is probably confusing. We are not talking about a red-stained parrot today. Instead, we have a strange fish that was genetically engineered and stirred up a lot of controversy in the scientific community. The blood parrot was engineered in Taiwan, but the exact genetic makeup of this fish remains a big secret. Some say that it is a hybrid of red devil and gold/green severums, while others say there is genetic material donated by the cichlid too. So there are a lot of booming theories about this fish, but it is nothing compared to the criticism received from the public on this hybrid. The fish seems normal from far, but it has many anatomical anomalies that you can spot up close. They have a round body that resembles a balloon, making it appear unnatural. It has a bulging head that seems like it has been attached to the body separately. The eyes are big too, but the most striking feature that has left many people raising questions about the ethics behind this hybrid is its mouth. It does not close. The beak-like mouth makes the fish seem like it is always smiling, but the science behind it is actually scary. It faces trouble while eating food, which is why it easily gets malnourished and eventually dies if not cared for properly. They do have teeth, but they are deep near its throat. Despite their controversial features, the fish remains alive and thriving in many aquariums as a happy pet. It is quite hard to take care of a blood parrot, but many people have gone through that trouble for this hybrid. Do you think there should be some rules around engineering hybrids? Because this experiment is a big example of things going wrong for the animal. Number 10. Wolfen. A dolphin is a pretty adorable animal to keep around, but what if it is a scary-looking hybrid? Would you think the same? This Wolfen is a hybrid between a female common bottlenose dolphin and a male false killer whale. The mating was quite uncanny since the two animals are very different in size. The whale weighed around 5,000 pounds and had a massive length of 16.5 feet. On the other hand, the dolphin was pretty small, with a length of merely 6.5 feet. It is a looming question how these two managed to create a Wolfen. One living example of this hybrid is the Kekai Malu that lives in an animal care shelter. It was fertile and gave birth to 3 babies. Only one of them is still alive today, and both of them live in a facility under the care of humans. The other babies died at a young age. One of them lived 9 years, while the other died a few days after the birth. The question is, are more of them in the wild? Number 11. Ashe cats. Looking at this beauty, you would think more of a tiger than a cat. This is known as the Ashe cats. They are a mix of an African serval, an Asian leopard cat, and a little bit of the domestic cats you see every day. These cats were 95% hypoallergenic and are known to carry dog-like traits. They can play around and learn tricks just like a dog. Similarly, it is far more loyal than other cats. The interesting thing is that they can get along with other dogs too. Ashe cats are much taller than a regular cat and stretch out to be 4 feet in length. It has pointy ears and bulging, colorful eyes that seem like they are always giving you a deadly stare. Plus, the leopard spots spread out all over its body only make it much more frightening. But its striking appearance is not the only thing that is scary. The staggering price tag on this cat is super scary too. It is the most expensive cat in the world and costs $100,000 to own. Some of the breeders demand a much higher price than that. Personally, I wouldn't pay that much to have a super cat. Would you? Number 12. Glow cat. Next up, we have another remarkable but frightening hybrid that looks like it came from a different universe. Glow in the dark things are already quite fascinating, but imagine a cat glowing in the dark. That would send you running out of the house. But these scientists had a different idea in mind. They wanted to create super cats that could fight off AIDS. FIV is a virus much like HIV, but it affects felines. The scientists wanted to come up with a creative way to know if a cat had the gene to fight off FIV. So, they put in a biomarker that had the bioluminescence gene to indicate if the cat had the anti-FIV gene. The result was a super cat that could glow. The more the cats glow, the more you can count on them to live an AIDS-free life. Plus, you can carry them around at night trying to scare people. It would definitely be a good Halloween outfit for them. Number 13. Great Pyrenees. This unusually large dog is a hybrid known as Great Pyrenees, and it has left the world divided into 2 parties. This hybrid came into being when the Maremma sheepdog and Anatolian shepherd were bred. These massive giants weigh more than 100 pounds and stand tall to nearly 3 feet in height. They may appear scary, but they are very much like a dog. They were created to be guardians. These giant dogs can easily take care of you whether you're out in the mountains or at home. They can defend a pack of sheep against a wolf and even guard a home from thieves. There are many other mixes that have come out of this hybrid. Many scientists have tried mixing its genes with other animals, and the count of those experiments is well over 16. But the reason why this hybrid has split the audience is because of its appearance. While some consider it scary to befriend a huge dog, others go for its teddy bear features and want to give it a big cuddle. Which one do you think you would be? Number 14. Green sea slugs. You have heard about animal hybrids, but what about a species that is half animal and half plant? This strange creature is known as the green sea slug. With the face of a sheep and the body of a plant, they have definitely left the scientists doubting their sight. They eat algae and have chloroplast cells, making them a wonder among the scientific community. They rob the chloroplast and can keep it for life. But despite the presence of chloroplast cells, they can live without sunlight. Everything about this bizarre creature has left the scientists to gape in shock. Green sea slugs do not live a long life and are very short in length, and their small size actually makes them quite adorable. Would you like to have any of these hybrids as pets? Let us know in the comments down below. While you're at it, make sure you hit the like button and press the subscribe button. We will be coming up with more exciting videos that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Until then, have a great day and thanks for watching.